All in.
Oh, unlucky for you. Oops, almost stole money.
Stole my money.
Yeah, but you gave it up anyways.
Oh, right.
Give me ace king. Or hearts. Or 3. Ah, wow. River's up there.
Actually, you know the rules. You can
Good for the
play.
vlog.
Coin aside.
You want to flip a coin?
Come on, you play the rules.
What's up everybody, it's LapChi. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, we're playing some 1-3 and then we switch to some 2-5, but we have an interesting controversy. In the middle of one of the hands, this lady, well, she wasn't in the hand anymore. She decides to influence the hand. And I don't know exactly if that would be considered an influence. It probably is. It was heads up. She wasn't in the hand, and pretty well much she tells the other guy to play a game called Goose. And for people that are not familiar with the game Goose, it's pretty well much we show both our hands, he has to flip a coin, and whatever, you know, heads or tails, whatever he calls, he has to make the call or make the fold. But at the very end, I just didn't say a whole lot. I was quiet the whole entire time, and he just makes the call, seeing that I was pretty uncomfortable. But let me know what you guys think. It's a pretty interesting session. I got a bit tilted, so the game was a bit rough for me to play. And at the very end, I just left unhappy. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and we will chat with you in a bit. In this hand, we have a Jack 9 off. I bet the $10, the small blind calls, and the big blind calls. The flop is a Queen, Jack, and a Jack. We bink the trips, it checks with me. I bet $10 and they both call. The turn is now at 10, it checks with me again, and I decide to bet for another $40. The small blind then raises to $150. The big blind folds, and I decide to shove all in for another 508. As you may know, there's only like I think a 2% chance to flop a trip, but he then snap calls. Oh boy, I don't think that's very good for us. The river is now a 8. We pick a straight. Thank you very much, dealer. He shows a jack and an ace. We sucked out and got a $1,066 pot. So we've been card dead for the next half an hour or so, and in this hand we're sitting on the big blind with a King 8 offsuit. The hijack bets a 15 and I decide to defend. The flop is a 10, 6, and a ace. The turn is a 6, we both check it through. The river is a 10, I decide to rep a 10 and bet $50. She then raises it to $200. And I decide to go all in as a bluff and as a donkey play and just hope she folds, and she snap calls. She shows a queen and a 10, but remember this lady because she's going to be the controversial person at the very end of this video. She's a very strong and tight player, and we happen to donkeyed $1,135 to her. So we buy in another $600. In this hand, we're sitting on the big blind with the ace jack off. The +1 bets a 15. The cutoff calls. I decide to raise to $60. The +1 folds and the cutoff calls. The flop now is a 8, 10, and a 5. I decide to rep some overpairs and continue doing the C bet to $150 and a cutoff calls. The turn is now a jack. We bink the top pair. Thank you very much, dealer. And we decide to shove all in for another $330. He tanks for a bit and makes the call. The river is an ace. We bink the 2 pairs. He shows a jack and a 9. So we had an open ender and the top pair. We fade everything and take down a $1,099 pot. Now the table opened up for a 2-5, so we all switched over. And in this hand, we're sitting on the +1 with the ace, king suited. We're double straddling for $20. The low jack limps, the hijack calls, and the small blind raises to $250. And I decide to shove all in for the rest of his chips of another $860 or so. And he snap calls, everybody folds. The board is a 2, 4, 5, 4, and a queen. We miss everything and he hits the queen at the end. And this is for a pretty big pot of $1,779. I pretty well much say, hey, if you can make the call and pay for it, you deserve the money, but I was definitely a bit tilted and salty inside. What are you gonna do? Welcome to poker. Now to the final hand of the night, the most controversial hand I've ever got to play. And in this hand, we're sitting on the low jack with a 10-9 of diamonds. Another guy bets a 30, and we decide to make the call. The hijack calls, the cutoff calls, the button calls, and the small blind calls. But it's a pretty big pot at this point. The big blind bets to $250. Another guy folds. I decide to make the call as my hand isn't too bad, and this was the same guy that pushed all in with an ace-queen offsuit versus me earlier. Everybody decides to fold. The flop is a 2, 7, and an 8. We have an open ender. He decides to bet $200, which is only a third or a little under a third of a pot. So I read that as a pretty weak bet. And I decide to shove all in for the rest of my chips, $865. And he goes into the blender for a pretty long time. And the lady who's not in the hand tells him to play the goose, which is basically both of us showing our cards. He flips a coin, and whatever that coin says to fold or to call, he has to do it.
Sorry, guys.
Play the goose.
Have a good time, buddy.
You know about the goose? Pick a coin. They both show your hand, but you're committed to the goose. So if it's heads, you have to call. If it's tails, you have to fold, even though you know if you're leader.
I remember that shit.
Great. You let the coin decide for you. It's awesome. It's awesome.
You want to play the goose? No?
Gonna flip a coin. Is that all right? Actually, you know the goose. You can
Good
play.
for the vlog.
Coin decides.
You want to flip a coin? I'm down to flip a coin if you want.
Come on, you play the goose. You play people. Stop. Play the goose one time, Lapchi. It's fun.
Lockdown.
Good for the vlog if you play the goose.
At least 1,000 hits.
All right, guys. That's it.
Yeah, nobody.
No more talking.
You can toss your heads up.
I know.
Alright.
I remain silent as I'm still kind of tilting and been losing today. And I can't really muster up my smile and, sway them to see that I'm not nervous. The dealer doesn't say a whole lot other than just come on guys. And after enough egging on, he finally makes the call. The turn is an 8 of diamonds. We have an open-ender flush draw. The river is an ace. And he shows a ace-king offsuit. I tell her next time please don't talk during my hand. I was upset and left the table. One of my buddies, Peter, said that the player was about to fold. He said until she started talking and egging him on the play and saw I didn't move and didn't say anything, allowed him to make the call. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Should she be allowed to say play a game during two people's heads up, although she is not really talking about the board? Was I right to be upset right away and left? Let me know what your thoughts on the whole entire controversy. Let's go to the outro. So let me know what you guys all think about that controversy because I was a bit upset and I just left at the very end. Today we popped in about $1,800 and left with a big fat zero. Unfortunately, I was on tilt and I was unhappy and I didn't want to continue playing or trying to get some of that money back. I hope you guys are all enjoying the content, and if you guys are, please give me that thumbs up and hook up a poker buddy by clicking that subscribe button. We will catch you all in the next video. Talk soon.